In the driving seat and looking for top gear, Sayfutdinov is in contention for this year's title. But the Russian isn't one to blow his own horn. Swapping his ride for something a little more familiar, Emil got in the saddle and headed towards his second temporary track of the season, parking in Copenhagen. Doing well to control his emotions about the pair's short but controversial history, the current world champion watched on. The two have slugged it out in every round so far, and Gothenburg, Sweden was definitely a close encounter of the third kind. Pedersen hit the front briefly in the final, but the gutsy teenager from Saladov shot up the inside and into the lead on lap number 2. But old pro Nicky was not about to yield, and a clash was inevitable. Dirt deflector touched wheel, and down went the Rusky, closely followed by a bailing out Crump. Emil pointed the finger Pedersen's way, as did the Rev, who excluded the Dane, and Nicky kicked off.
Oh, we gotta stop this! Can't I ever win it anymore or what? What the is going on?
His protest at yet another decision going against him fell on deaf ears as the young gun was reinstated. From the tapes, though, it was Jason Crump who swept into the lead, followed by wildcard sensation Antonio Lindback. But the Swede ran wide into the second lap, allowing the comeback kid Sayfutdinov to fly by. A cropped Crump struggled to hang on to his bike following his tumble with a Russian, and on lap 3, the championship leader let slip a second GP win of the year, handing it instead to the new boy. That's 3 Grand Prix under his belt and 2 GP victories. He's certainly the real deal. Emil's win in Gothenburg proves without doubt he has ability and track craft. And that round 1 in Prague was not just a fluke. In just a short space of time, he's established himself as a contender for the 2009 championship.
I prepare myself for this season very good, and we prepare very good bikes, and we find good setup on the track. So I just make it happen. So I'm very happy about this. With this good start, it's so many rounds to go to win so many races. But I will try to do good, and then on the end we'll see what's gonna happen.
As we head indoors and onto another one-off surface, what did he make of his first experience in Sweden?
I was thinking that will be harder for me, especially after the first race when I didn't have good setup for the track. But after that we find good sprockets and ignition and jets, and then I like it. It was really good fun.
Gothenburg wasn't fun for Jason Crump. The Australian left with a broken finger from his crash with Emil, and second place on the night. This has cut his lead at the top of the table to just 6 points. Sayfutdinov has moved up to second after scoring 20 points on the night. Also moving up is Nicky Pedersen, now with 34, despite losing out in the final. But he's a long way behind an informed Jason, who's standing high and mighty.
Things have continued to go well for me. It's it's a really good bit of form I'm in at the moment, so I'm just looking to keep it going here on the big stage. I just wish it was a few more points than what it is. So that's the aim of this weekend, to try and not just consolidate it, but increase the lead as well.
Jason's got a good chance of that at Parken. Having made the final here 4 times, the double world champion has won on 2 occasions. He's also drawn the favoured inside gate for his first and his last heat rides.
On the smaller, trickier tracks, gate 1 can be a bit of a help, especially on a tight first corner, so I hope it helps. Consistently, this one's been the best indoor track, so let's hope it stays that way.
Andreas Jonsson has also been a winner here, but tonight he'll be happy just to make the final, after the disappointment of going out in the semis in front of his home crowd a fortnight earlier. He's also carrying a mystery illness, so can the Swede bounce back and regain his consistency?
The most important thing is that I will be here and try to get as many points as I can, because yesterday I couldn't concentrate properly and it started to be dangerous, So I went to the van, had a bit of sleep, and went back to the hotel and got some medicine and that, and I'm feeling much better today. Still not 100%, but I'm here. That's the most important thing.
Joining tonight's lineup is Niels Christian Iversen. He returns to SGP duty as the wild card. But tonight's loudest cheer was for world champion Nicky Pedersen. Can he finally win his home Grand Prix? Heat 1 saw Hans Andersen hit the front, but was then muscled out by the Russian Emil Sayfutdinov, who took the 3 points. Sitting pretty in red was Jason Crump for Heat 2, but he failed to make the most of the favoured gate as Greg Vanacek swept to his first and only win of the evening. The tapes went up for Heat 3 and it was wildcard Niels Christian Iversen delighting the Danish fans with a fine ride. And under the weather, Andreas Jonsson saw off Greg Hancock for second place. The Danish duo, Pedersen and Bjerre, locked horns in Heat 4, and it was the world champion who came out on top, Bjerre settling for second. Jason Crump was this time out in Gate 3, but was again kept at bay by another Pole, Seb Ulemek, who rolled in for 3 big points. Heat 6 saw Bjerre up against a fellow Dane again in Hans Andersen, but this time came out on top to win the race from Greg Hancock, who squeezed past Andersen for 2 points. A welcome win for Bjerre, hey Sam?
Yeah, Kenneth Bjerre just coming off of a win, coming out of the inside gate position. He's pretty happy. I'm sure the Danish fans, they're kicking up high out there.
Welcome back to the FIM Dansk Metal Danish Speedway Grand Prix. Well, heat number 7, and what an appetising lineup this is. It's Pedersen against Seifutinov. The grudge match early on here. Iversen goes off the inside in red. Gate 2 in blue is Nicky Pedersen. Great Britain's Chris Harris goes off 3. Emil Seifutinov off the outside in yellow. It's early in his career, Seifutinov, but already there's history between him and Nicky.
Yeah, that's a tough race there. Jason looks on in the monitor. It's a real tough race. Nicky Pedersen's boys are watching on. Is Nicky going to pull it off?
Heat 7 it is then. What can Nicky Pedersen do off Gate 2? He's made a dream start. Seifutinov comes around the outside. Pedersen hits the dirt. Oh, my word. Drama in the extreme early on here. Pedersen hits some unexpected drive and takes Seifutinov with him. And they're having a war of words down there.
Yeah, the tension's really high. Seifutinov's not happy. Look, he's angry with Nicky.
Well, to me, that was a racing accident, but Seifutinov is having words. His pit crew aren't happy either. They go across to retrieve the machinery. Oh, dear, oh, dear.
They're kind of holding back a little bit. Look at that. That's Susie, his team manager. And let's watch this again, Nige. Here it goes. He goes into the corner. Nicky does a good job. He gets over Niels. He's on the inside, moves off a little bit, grabs extra traction. Man, there's no call for that, but that's the way it happens sometimes on these man-made tracks.
It's an accident. It's an accident.
Sure.
And I would suggest that tensions are running high. There's no doubt about that, Sam.
Unlucky.
But some of the reaction here is a bit out of order.
Well, you know what? They're all the tension's high out there, Nige, and everybody wants to win. Nicky's had a bit of a bad call pretty much a couple times in the Grand Prix series. Look at his team boys looking on over the fence. When that conflict appears to happen right here, look at that. ML's actually got his will in the air as well, and I think they both had a little bit of a problem there, but it was a collision, and Nicky's been excluded.
Yep, Nicky's got to go, no doubt about that, but the reaction was a little bit over the top at times, and it just underlines the depth of feeling in the Grand Prix pits. Every point absolutely vital. Seifutinov is going out for the restart, but I'll tell you what, there was a lot of anger there. Nicky Pedersen's in a bit of pain, and he's hurting by the fact that he won't score a point in this race because of that exclusion. The restart, Seifutinov made a perfect one as he dived up the inside magnificently of Niels Christian Iversen, the wild card for Denmark. Nicky Pedersen having treatment, stitches in a very tender area, it's fair to say. But I'm sure he'll be back for more later in the meeting. Seifutinov as well needed an ice pack on the shoulder area after that dramatic incident early in the meeting. Heat 8 and Scott Nichols was looking for his first points of the evening, but once again he was denied. Thomas Golub, the rider in red, coming through superbly as Nichols went wide there and was relegated to the back with Rune Holter in white, Gregor Valacek in blue, but Golub set the Polish fans happy there in heat number 8 with a fantastic ride. 2 rides each completed. Seifutinov top of the leaderboard with Bjerre and the wildcard Iversen, Golub, Valacek and Crump 4 points each, and the race for the top 8 very much on with several riders on 3 points. Nicky Pedersen stretching the injury and ready for more action later in the meeting. He'll be back, that's for sure. Heat number 9, and this was Sebastian Ulemek in white, looking superb. He's a very unpredictable character, Ulemek, but when he gets in the lead, he's a very hard rider to pass. As for Scott Nichols, finally he managed to get a point on the board with a superb ride to get the better of Niels Christian Iversen.
Yes, that's right. Scotty looks a little bit happier, I'm sure. You know, it's tough out there. the boys, the fans, everybody's Nicky's got it even tougher. He's in this next race, and the crowd wants a result out of this guy.
Look at this. Crump against Pedersen. Halter off the inside in red. Jason Crump blue. Nicky Pedersen testing the comfort of the saddle off gate 3 in white. And Hans Andersen in yellow.
Look at the scoreboard. They're all pretty even. Crumpy's just on the inside of the two Danes. There's Hans Andersen coming off gate 4. You can't really pick a winner because all the gates seem to be fairly even. So it's going to be a tough drag to the first corner.
Well, it's going to take a cheeky ride from Nicky to win this one. Heat number 10 it is. Crump off gate 2 with a magnificent ride to hit that first turn. This man is in form. Pedersen, though, trailing at the back. I wonder if that injury is playing a part in this particular ride. But Jason Crump, magnificent. Altering second. Pedersen's got third now.
Yeah, Hans made a big mess in that last corner, but it's Jason Crump out front, and he means business. Can Nicky pick it up? I don't think so. They're starting to spread out now.
Jason Crump on 4 points before this ride, but he's looking very, very comfortable and commanding in the lead. He's looking majestic with Rune Halter in second place, Pedersen third, Andersen at the back. This would put Jason Crump then on 7 points, and Rune Halter would pick up 4 points so far after 3 rides, and that would be encouraging for him to make it through to the semi-finals. Pedersen, though, would be on 4 with this 3rd place as well. They're pretty spread out now. Jason Crump is going to come round and take the checkered flag. He moves on to 7 points from 3 rides, and surely now well in command of a place in the semi-final. Here's confirmation of the result for you. Jason Crump, the race winner. Rune Halter was 2nd. 3rd place there went to Nicky Pedersen, and trailing in at the back was Hans Andersen.
Yeah, there's another notch in old Jason Crump's belt. He really meant business in that one, and it was a pretty tough race with Hans Andersen on the outside. Like I said, the gates are pretty fair. He had his work cut out for him. Nicky Pedersen was struggling to get some points. I think he's a little bit dazed and confused at this stage.
Heat 11, Emil Seifugenhoff, the man who was involved in that controversy with Pedersen earlier on. Going in the white helmet colour, a dream start for Seifugenhoff, and moving on to 9 points on his way through to the semi-finals with races in hand. Home hero Kenneth Bier was disappointing at the back. Andreas Jonsson 2nd, Gregor Valacek in 3rd place, but Seifugenhoff in commanding form, and Bier wondering what he's got to do right to get into the semis. Heat 12, the battle of the veterans. Hancock in white, Adams, Golub, they're all in there. And Lee Adams made a good start, but Hancock, you see in the white helmet colour here, coming around the outside and closing the door on Lee Adams with Golub in 3rd place, and Hancock picking up a precious victory there after 3 points from 2 rides. He needed a fine win, and he got it in heat number 12. So the leaderboard after 3 rides apiece, Seifugenhoff unbeaten, Crump looking comfortable, and look at the battle for the top 8 there, with Nicky Pedersen and Andreas Jonsson just outside of that group. A much-needed win for Greg Hancock puts him on 6 points.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, points are points right now, and yeah, I started out a little rough there in the first one, but we changed bikes, and now making finer adjustments, trying to get the right setup before the semis.
Couple of little bumps out there, but the track looks very good in all places.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's not cutting up like some of the other indoor tracks have in the past, but it's also really slippery too. So you got slick and then these little ruts and stuff. So it's a little tricky to get the perfect setup, but same for everybody.
Well, plenty to talk about the track from Greg there, and here's the starting stats, Sam.
Well, you know, it's all about getting out of the start in most of these cases here, but you do need a racetrack to get you going. It's been a bit tough, and look at the stats. They seem to be fairly even, so I don't think any one of the riders are going to have much of a disadvantage.
Well, the British boys wondering just what they can do to put it right. Chris Harris quite clearly frustrated with his evening so far, and Scott Nichols still baffled by what is going wrong. Cardiff just around the corner, the British Grand Prix. They'll be hoping to get it right in front of their home fans at the Millennium Stadium for sure. Nicky Pedersen suffering from injury, but having a talking to at the same time, trying to get it right physically and mentally for the rest of the meeting. A big night ahead for him then in the second half of the meeting. Emil Seifugenhoff with that shoulder injury, riding through the pain barrier, but he's got 9 points out of 9, and the business end of the GP is on the way after the break. Welcome back to our coverage of the FIM Dansk Metal Danish Speedway Grand Prix in the magnificent Parken in Copenhagen. Massive crowd, 30,000 fans packing the venue. backing the likes of Kenneth Pierre, the Danish hero in white. Another Danish hero, Ole Olsen, the Grand Prix race director, of course, legendary Ole Olsen, one of the greatest riders of all time. Chris Harris off the inside in red here, heat 13. Off gate 2 in blue is Rune Holter. Kenneth Pierre with all the support of the crowd, gate 3 in white. And Seb Ulemek, who can win races, we've seen that already, off the outside.
Yeah, that guy's one of those kind of guys. If he makes a start, he's gone. There was Hans Nielsen in the pits there looking on, and Kenneth Pierre is eager to get out of that start as well.
Yeah, big points needed from Pierre, but he's been squeezed out in that first turn, and Chris Harris has the lead now, looking for a rare victory. He's the only rider in this field who's never won a race here in Copenhagen, and the Great Britain rider from Cornwall has got that lead. Second place at the moment is Rune Holter. Kenneth Pierre has come through into third with Ulemek at the back.
Yeah, Kenneth definitely wants to get by Rene Holter, and as he goes up the inside, and may take full advantage of that little slip up that Holter made. But it's Chris Harris out in front. He made a good start, and he doesn't want to give it up. A little bit of a mistake there. Kenneth's right on his trail.
Yeah, good race for second spot, and Pierre is showing all the determination that you'd expect from a rider in front of his home fans here in Denmark. The lead, though, is with Chris Harris in the red helmet colour. This one put him on to 5 points and give him an outside chance of challenging for a semi-final spot. Big win coming in here for Chris Harris. And those 2 points for Kenneth Pierre are vital as well, because they give him a great opportunity of reaching the last 8. Rune Holter gets third spot. Confirmation of the result, and a rare win for Chris Harris. Second place with Kenneth Pierre. Third place there went to Rune Holter, and trailing in at the back was Sebastian Ulemek.
There was a lot of determination from young Chris Harris, if I can say he's young. He's been in the Grand Prix for a couple of years. He made a good start off that inside line. He's holding on to it, but he's got some heavy hitters underneath him coming. Holton was trying to do it, messed up turn 3 going in there, went a little bit too wide. I think he felt a little unsteady, and Kenneth smelt that, and he went straight into turn 3 and took advantage of it. And as he chased down this guy right here, Chris Harris, he couldn't do it, landed on 2 points.
Well, what a win that was. A massive win for Chris Harris, for his season overall as well, you get the feeling. And this is how it affects the leaderboard, with Harris sneaking into 8th place now on 5 points. The lead, though, is with Seifudenhoff on a maximum 9-point score, and Pierre moving up to, 3rd place on 7 points. And the battle for the top 8 very much alive. Heat 14, and Niels Christian Iversen, the wild card in the yellow helmet colour, doing the business again, moving on to 8 points with a fantastic start from the outside gate position, with Gregor Valacek getting 2nd place. Anderson was 3rd, and Adams at the back.
Yeah, I'm here to enjoy it tonight. I don't have so much pressure, so I'll do the best I can, and hopefully I'll end up in the final.
Lee Adams' Grand Prix campaign appears to be going backwards at the moment, and Hans Andersen as well, wondering what he's got to do to put things right in the series. Emil Seifudenhoff, the new sensation off gate 2 in blue in heat number 15. Scotty Nichols looking for points off the inside in red. Seifudenhoff off 2. What a lineup this is, with Hancock off 3 and Crump off the outside.
There's a bit of experience in that race, and Nicky knows if these guys take advantage of his poor performance tonight, and some of it being a little bit unlucky, can Jason continue to drive this series?
The Grand Prix series. This is the one tournament that the riders put their all into, and Jason Crump has made a perler from the outside. What a ride that was from Crump. Seifudenhoff is 2nd. Nichols battling with Hancock for 3rd place now, but the battle up front very much alive, and Crump is teaching the youngster a lesson here.
Now, I think Crump will be a little bit worried about this guy. There's a bit of pressure. Let's see what Jason does. Does he feel him? Jason goes in, hugs the inside. He doesn't want to make any mistake. Look at Seifudenhoff, just right there, ready to take it. If there's any mistakes, Jason, watch out. He'll go.
The teacher leading the pupil, but the pupil is a lively one. He's all over Jason Crump. He's got a tiger on his tail here. Cannot afford to relax at all in this race. Crump now looking to move into double figures on 10 points. 3rd place is Scott Nichols ahead of Hancock. 2 races in 1, and Seifudenhoff just about manages to maintain control there. Almost lost it and went into the fence, and that is a big win for Jason Crump.
It sure is. I tell you, that was a loaded race from the outside. It was very unfortunate, but Jason did take 3 points.
Seifudenhoff 2, 1 point for Scott Nichols, and a big blow for Greg Hancock. Last place there in heat number 15. What an atmosphere And here we see the start of the race.
Greg Hancock just did not move out of the start. His bike setup or whatever it was, gate 3 was a bogey one for him. But it was Jason that made the demanding first corner. But Sayfutdinov is right there with him. And if he made a mistake, ML would have took that one straight from him. It was a great battle right to the end. But at the end, look at Sayfutdinov going wide. And he just hooks up and goes wide. And lucky the boys weren't too close. He held on to that second place.
What a shot that is. Magnificent. Yeah, he just couldn't get away from it. Couldn't shake him off. It's as simple as that. Absolutely perfect analysis for us from Jason Crump himself in the pits area. Here's how it looks then. After heat 15, Sayfutdinov onto 11. Crump couldn't shake him off, but he got the win and gets 10 points and set fair for the semi-finals. Gollum, Harris, Holter all on 5, chasing that top 8 spot. Hancock under pressure now, only on 6 after that last place. Heat 16, what an atmosphere it is in this Grand Prix in the magnificent Parken in Copenhagen. Everybody having a good time, and the roar is for this man, Nicky Pedersen, racing through the pain barrier with an uncomfortable injury from early on. Jonsson off the inside, Lindgren off 2, Gollum goes off 3, and Pedersen off the outside, and they all need points, Sam.
That's right, and Lindgren's having a poor start here in this Grand Prix. He's not really adapted too well to the slick conditions out there. He's got to make a good start, but he's got Jonsson on the inside of it. Nicky's determined to get one over Thomas, because Thomas can't pull the magic up.
Green lights on, and the bikes roar away from the start, and Pedersen makes that turn superbly. What a ride from Nicky Pedersen, and coming through into third, Thomas Gollum. What a race we've got here. Gollum gets the better of Andreas Jonsson, but the lead is with courageous Nicky Pedersen.
That magic wand's going. Look at him fish, but he got his nose cut off. Andreas is putting the pressure on Thomas's drive. Thomas is looking for every little bit of inch of drive on that outside. Can he pull it off? He gets over Andreas. That might have been just enough pressure for him not to be able to sniff down Nicky Pedersen.
The best Speedway riders in the world, doing the business, turning on the style. Lindgren can't make an impression at the back. Jonsson and Gollum battling for that second place. Gollum's hanging on. Here comes Jonsson. Can't quite get the pace. The lead, though, is with this man, the reigning world champion, Captain Courageous from Denmark, Nicky Pedersen, and what a second spot for Andreas Jonsson as well. Wow, that was unbelievable Speedway racing.
It's all going on out there in front of this great, magnificent 30,000 fans watching Nicky Pedersen finally pull off a win.
A massive ride for Pedersen and a massive win, and a big second for Jonsson. Gollum was third there. Lindgren, who we've seen top score earlier in the series, trailing at the back. And Pedersen riding through the pain barrier here.
Yeah, he's on gate 4, and he's made it count. He went out there. Andreas is covering the inside. Freddie sneaking up there, but look at the gap he left for Thomas. Thomas went straight for the outside. As we watch him come out of the start one more time, we watch Nicky go in there. Just bobbles a bit, but that little bit of bobble gave him that extra drive to pull just a half a bike length away from him, and he took advantage of that one and grabbed another 3 points.
Nicky Pedersen's pit crew congratulating him on a great ride. He's still got work to do tonight, but it moves him on to 7 points now, Nicky Pedersen, and into contention for a semi-final place. Sayfutdinov and Crump still up there with Iversen. Nicky now in 4th place with Bier and Valacek, Ulemek and Hancock and Gollum and Jonsson all on 6 points. The race for the top 8 is hotting up nicely here. Andreas Jonsson, a big second place. Sayfutdinov relaxing, waiting for his next outing. Nicky Pedersen out again in heat 17. Join us for that after the break. Welcome back to the FIM Dansk Metal Danish Speedway Grand Prix in the magnificent Parken in Copenhagen. A great crowd. Nicky Pedersen's pit crew watching on. It's very tense out there because Pedersen, remember, riding through the pain barrier, had that nasty injury early on. Uncomfortable to ride the bike for sure. And heat 17 is coming up, and all these riders in contention for the semi-final. Ulemek, Valacek, Pedersen off 3. Hancock needs a big ride off 4.
That's right. You can just see the score line, 6, 7, 7, and 6. They all got it. The 2 guys on the inside, Ulemek and Valacek, they both got their points earlier on. Nicky Pedersen and Greg are just coming alive. Everybody's looking down. The tension's high.
Yep, heat number 17 it is then. The focus of attention is that man in white, Nicky Pedersen. It's all about the world champion hoping to get through to the semi-finals in his home country. And what a start from Pedersen off gate 3. And coming around the outside is Hancock. A second place should just about do it for Hancock for the semi-finals. Pedersen, though, superb, has the lead from Hancock. Ulemek in third.
Just listen to the crowd. They're just wishing him on. He's come alive. He's out front. And Greg Hancock is really talented out of the start. He's finally got that bike gripping for him. But it's Nicky Pedersen that's leading from the tapes.
Yeah, magnificent ride from Nicky Pedersen, who is a national hero over here in Denmark. But Hancock looks quick. He's putting pressure on Pedersen.
He's winding him up. He's looking. He looks left to see if anybody's closer to him. He might start experimenting a little bit on the racetrack. He's hugging the inside, hoping that Nicky's going to make a mistake. There's one.
Hancock, 39 years of age, but still riding with the enthusiasm of a teenager as Pedersen hangs on. An important ride for Nicky Pedersen with Greg Hancock all over him there. Ulemek hanging on for the third spot, but that is a big ride from Pedersen, who moves into the semi-finals with a double-figure score now. Pedersen the race winner, Hancock was second, he'll go through just. Ulemek was third, and trailing at the back there was Gregor Valacek. A massive ride for Nicky Pedersen, and a big ride from the man in yellow, your fellow countryman Greg Hancock.
Yeah, Nicky made no mistake out of gate 3 previously. Greg was on that gate, and he just didn't go nowhere. And now he's working hard. He's trying to put the pressure on Nicky, hoping for mistakes. He goes up the inside. He moved out. You can see the dirt all over his front wheel. That's the signs of him not making a good start. It was this guy all the way to the end. Just look at that bike go.
Brilliant stuff then, the hair dryer treatment for Nicky Pedersen. Not a lot of hair to dry, it has to be said, but he's keeping cool, and a cool customer he most certainly is. And he will be nicely relaxed heading into the semi-finals now. 10 points for him with Jason Crump. Seiferdenhoff still the leader. Look at that battle for the top 8 and how tight it's getting with Gollum, Jonsson, Harris all in contention with a race in hand on the riders above them. Well, heat number 18 and Andreas Jonsson out here needing points. He did go into the meeting with a virus. He's in the red helmet colour. We're looking at Nichols in yellow. But Andreas Jonsson, the super Swede, in the red helmet colour, cut short practice yesterday because he was suffering from a virus. Jonsson goes off the inside. Anderson off gate 2. Chris Harris off gate 3. And Scott Nichols off the outside.
Yeah, there's a bit of pride on those outside gates there with Chris Harris and Scott Nichols, but they got a bit of work to do. He's got Hans Andersen out of gate 2. What's going to happen?
Big race this one then, heat number 18. And it's a good start from Anderson in the blue helmet colour. Nichols in yellow! The man who has been so woefully out of form this season has just pulled off one of the rides in a meeting. Anderson is second, Harris is third. Trailing at the back is Jonsson. It won't do Nichols any good in terms of getting into the semi-finals, but for his confidence, this could be immeasurable.
Yeah, he's going into the last corner of the second lap. Can he hold on to it? Look at Hans Andersen. He's being wheeled on by this crowd. Can he pick up 3 points or not? He moves wide a little bit. Look at Andreas getting out of shape. Here comes Harris up the inside, but without prevailing on that point there. But we got a race in the front.
We certainly have a race in the front and a race in the back. Nichols hanging on. It's been a miserable time for him so far this season, but with Cardiff just around the corner, his home Grand Prix, the fans will have a little bit more faith now, because Nichols has pulled off a magnificent ride, a great win, and on current form, you have to say a shock win in heat number 18. But what a race it was. Nichols the winner. Second place was Hans Andersen. Third place there went to Andreas Jonsson, and trailing at the back was Chris Harris. Scott Nichols will be a happy man, finally.
How many times have we seen this? You put the two Brits together and somebody wants to win. Scotty goes off gate 4. The doors just opened up for him as he turned through the first turn. He comes out smelling the air, clean air right in front of him, and he goes for it. He carries on to get the 3 points, but if Hans Andersen here in the blue helmet was trying hard to chase him down, but he did do it. Look at Scotty happy.
Well, how nice it is to see that as well, to be fair. A smile on the a smile on the face of Scotty Nichols. That's more like it. That's the real Scott Nichols, isn't it?
Of course.
And Andreas Jonsson, well, a point for him there. And that means it probably won't be enough. And Hans Andersen with Jan Stekman, the Danish team manager, wondering what might have been tonight. Here's how they stand. Seifutinov, the leader on 11. Pedersen, Crump, Iversen, Hancock, all through. Ulemek, Pierre, Valacek and Jonsson level on 7 points apiece. But Jonsson won't make the semi-finals. Golub still has a chance just outside. Heat 19, Lee Adams, another disappointing night. He's out here in white. He won't make the semi-finals. He's got 4 points going into this race, but Seifutinov is here in the red helmet colour. 11 points so far, and looking to close the gap again in the world title race tonight. Emil Seifutinov goes off the inside in red. Rune Holte gate 2 in blue. Lee Adams gate 3 in white. Lindgren off the outside, and a win here for Seifutinov, and he'll be sure of going into the semi-finals as leader of the meeting.
Yeah, it'd be nice to take those 3 extra points and test the inside gate position if he's going to possibly have the first choice. Rune Holte has a chance still at a gate 2. The race is on.
Seifudinov's made it again. Sensational stuff from Seifutinov. Coming around into second is Lee Adams, and Rune Holte just manages to keep the bike under control. It was like a bucking bronco there for Rune Holte, with Lindgren in third, but Seifutinov has the lead, and this will take him through to the semi-finals as the leader of the meeting and closing the gap ever more on the World Championship leader, Jason Crump.
Look at that style for a young guy. Tell you what, he's just rewrote the rule books when it comes down to age and big heads. I mean, the experienced guy of Lee Adams right behind him, many years, many laps on this kind of level, but it's ML out there in front and doing a grand job.
Yes, Sam, I'm sure it reminds you of when you were 19 years of age and carving up the opposition. And a fantastic ride from the Russian. Emil Seifutinov is going to lead the meeting, going into the semi-finals. What a fairy tale Grand Prix series for Emil Seifutinov, winner of 2 meetings so far, now in a semi-final here in Denmark. What a story it is. A new star is definitely born. Adams second, Lindgren was third, and trailing at the back there was Rune Holte. But the story is Seifutinov.
Yes, that's right. He comes out the inside gate there, goes in there, moves off a little bit, cuts back to the inside, gets going. Look at Lee Adams taking advantage of the guys in third and fourth, making a weak first corner. Here we go again, watching Emil go into the corner. When you got that kind of ability, you got that kind of a setup, and you're out in front of a guy that's got total many laps at this level, and to be out and stay in front of him is so good. What a future.
4 wins out of 5 for Emil Seifutinov. What a story it is. Remember, he's got that shoulder injury as well as he heads into the marquee. He'll be hoping later that perhaps he's in the celebration marquee. Rune Holte and Freddie Lindgren, disappointed men, it's fair to say, after tonight. And Lee Adams, been there and seen it all before. Another night of underachievement for one of the world's greatest. Seifutinov leading the way into the semi-finals, 14 points. Pedersen on 10. Now Crump out in the next one will be hoping to get a race win to close that gap going into the semi-finals. And the battle for the top 8 very much alive. And Thomas Golub in 10th place, needing points in heat number 20 to stay in the meeting, to progress into the semi-finals. Golub is out in yellow here. That man in red, Jason Crump, is on 10 points. He's 4 points behind Seifutinov. Going into the semi-finals, needs a win here to really close that gap. Crump off the inside in red then. Kenneth Pierre needs points here as well. He's in blue. Niels Christian Iversen, the wild card, should be safe in gate 3. He's on 8 points. And Thomas Golub going off the outside. He's going to need all his experience and knowledge here, Sam.
Yeah, he needs to definitely help himself off of that outside gate. He's got Crumpy there. Crumpy's practicing right now. He's got enough points.
Let's see what happens in a massive heat number 20. Jason Crump hits that turn. Golub's been squeezed down. Golub goes high and wide. And Golub hits second place with Iversen battling hard. Years in the back.
What a move. Golub had to squeeze down. Did he leave too much of a gap? No, he takes it back again. Crumpy made a brilliant start off the inside, but look at the work that Thomas Golub had to do. He worked the outside, cut to the inside. Now he's holding on to it. He's putting the pressure on. He's scoping out Jason.
There's a battle at the back as well with Kenneth Pierre hitting the inside, trying desperately to squeeze through on the inside of Niels Christian Iversen, but Iversen won't have any of it. The lead is with Jason Crump, who looks set there now to hit the semi-finals with 13 points. Second place, the hard-working Thomas Golub. That picture doesn't tell a true reflection of the race because it was tight for Golub early on, but going into the latter stages, Crump is there. 13 points for him. Second place, Golub, that's enough for him. He will put fellow Paul Vanacek out of the semi-final. And in third place there, it was very, very tight indeed. But Niels Christian Iversen got the nod ahead of his fellow countryman, Kenneth Bier. Now, by my calculations, Bier might still make it, but he's sweating as he goes back to the pits.
It's all about now for Jason Crump has to refine the inside gate. Look how tight he is on there. He leaves it down so low that there's a little bit of room. Nils looks like he's got a chance to get in there, but Thomas comes off the wall, a little bit of dirt against the wall, grabs extra traction and fires himself into the second position.
Finrune Jensen, closest to the camera, is the engine tuner of Jason Crump. Jensen, the former Danish international rider in his home country here, talking to Crump about the setups for the semi-final. And this is how they go into the semi-finals now. Saifudinov will get first pick. He's got 14 points. Crump on 13. Every point counts towards the world title. Pedersen, Tech, Iversen, Hancock, Golub, Ulemek and Bier confirmed semi-finalists. Vanacek is out in heartbreaking style. Now we've got the draw. The first semi-final. And here we see the gate stats, Sam.
Yeah, well, they're pretty even still. Look at the outside gate 6, the inside gate 6, 5 and 3 on the two middle gates. It's kind of down to what they think. Look at Emil goes straight for the inside. Iversen goes for 2.
And Thomas Golub there going for the outside with Ulemek off gate 3. Then Crump gets gate number 1 for the second semi-final. Mickey Pedersen goes for 2 with Hancock going off the outside. And Kenneth Bier has no choice but to go for gate number 3. The semi-finals and the grand final are on the way in a few moments' time. Welcome back to the FIM Dansk Metal Danish Speedway Grand Prix. We're down to the business end. The semi-finals are here and the grand final. And this is where the big points are scored, both in terms of reality points and psychological points as well. This is round 4 of 11 in the FIM Grand Prix series. Saifudinov, the new sensation, is off the inside in red. Iversen goes off gate 2 in blue. Ulemek gate 3 in white. Golub off the outside in yellow. The first 2 will go through to the grand final when points count for double. And Saifudinov knows here this is a massive race coming up to keep the pressure on Jason Crump at the top of the leaderboard. First semi-final. The green light is on. And oh! Saifudinov gambles and Saifudinov fails.
He sure does. Well, there you go. The pressure got to him. He was so eager to make that start. We just watch it here. Yep, he definitely moves. He touches the tapes. The referee, I'm sure, is going to make the right decision.
And the decision is that Saifudinov is disqualified from the restart. If you touch the tapes in Speedway at Grand Prix level, you are thrown out. You are disqualified. There's no way back. And Saifudinov's night ends on 14 points. And now it means a golden opportunity for Jason Crump to extend his lead in the World Championship here in the Parken in Copenhagen.
It's all down to experience, but he is eager. He knows that he got to make a good start. When you're holding that bike, 500cc, 60 horsepower, you got 2 fingers on the clutch, and you're eager to go. One little movement, and the bike jumps. Perfect. But the wrong timing.
Absolutely interesting. Just using the 2 fingers on the clutch there, Saifudinov. And an opportunity for the remaining 3 guys. A 2-in-3 chance now of getting into the final. First semi-final, second time of asking it is. And Thomas Golub, the old master from Poland off the outside, has just made a jet-propelled getaway from the outside gate position. And look how fast Thomas Golub is going now. And Iversen, as the wild card, is going close now to reaching the final in his home Grand Prix and making a point to the Grand Prix organisers, who will have to select some riders for next year's series.
That's right. Thomas did make the superb start off that outside gate. He's got a tremendous lead going into this corner now. And you're right. Iversen now has got to hold off Ulemek. Ulemek's trying his hardest.
Yep, he is. Ulemek working Niels Christian Iversen overtime here. But Iversen is looking steady and solid in second place. It looks like Golub and Iversen are going to be the first 2 riders through to the final of the FIM Dansk Metal Danish Grand Prix in this magnificent venue. Golub takes the checkered flag and punches the air. I Ivan Major style. He used to celebrate the world title, punching the air like that over the finish line. And Thomas Gollum has reached the final in splendid style. He's worked hard in his last two outings. Iversen was second. He's through to the final. What a story that is. Ulemek was third, and Ulemek finishes the night on 8 points. Sayfutdinov, of course, was disqualified.
Yeah, well, you're going to take advantage. Look at Golub right up against the fence. Got his back wheel right in the dirt. He just goes straight wide into the corner coming off of turn 2. Iversen's down low, just making sure he's holding the... And as we watch it one more time, look at how he launches into that corner. And as he just gets coming off here, he starts pulling away. He's 3, 4, 5 bike links already going into turn 3.
Yep, and celebration time for Niels Christian Iversen. What a night it is for him. He's on 11 points now, going into the final. For a wild card, a terrific achievement. We saw it with Lindback in Sweden. We're seeing it with Iversen in Denmark. Second semi-final, and what a lineup this is. We have got 3 world champions here. Jason Crump off the inside, twice world champion. Nicky Pedersen, the reigning world champion, off gate 2 in blue. Kenneth Bier, gate 3 in white. Greg Hancock, 97 world champion, off the outside.
Still going. He's going to have some inspiration from that gate that Golub made. They're both about the same age, but we know that Jason's means business on the inside of Nicky. Nicky wants to get to that final. It's going to be a heck of a first corner.
Here we go for the games here, and it's a very tight first turn. Nicky Pedersen holding second spot. Crump has the lead. Pedersen hanging on in there, and look at Hancock in yellow. Where did he find that from? Pedersen goes wide, and he's slowing up here. Surely he's got mechanical gremlins. A puncture possibly, and the lead is with Crump.
That's right. There's no fun and games for Nicky at the moment. He's got a flat tire. He's well disappointed. That was an opportunity missed, but it's Jason out front, and look at Greg picked up the second place. That's great for him. Kenneth Bier's a loser in this race. Third place means nothing.
Just not Nicky Pedersen's night, and possibly not Nicky Pedersen's year. Jason Crump from Australia has that lead. Greg Hancock from the USA has second place. Both riders, as it stands, heading through to join Thomas Gollum and Niels Christian Iversen in the final. Kenneth Bier third, and Jason Crump, whatever happens now, will extend his lead over Emil Sayfutdinov in the World Championship, because he moves on now to 16 points. Pedersen on his way back to the pits. An angry man throws his crash helmet towards his pit crew. He is furious, but there's nothing he can do about a puncture. It's a freak situation, but Nicky Pedersen is an angry man. Here's the result of the second semi-final then. Jason Crump now, 16 points going into the final. Greg Hancock gets through to the final as well. A fine achievement. Bier was third. Pedersen at the back, and Jason Crump was simply superb off gate number 1.
He sure was, Nigel, but look at Nicky. Nicky did all the work. He got just over him going in. It looks like he's got enough speed right here. I think he feels the flat right about now. He's in trouble, and he's just trying to hold on to it, and there's the reaction from that. He is not happy.
Well, frustration written all over the face of Nicky Pedersen. It's not going his way. He feels the world's against him right now, as do his team in the pits area. And in front of his home fans, he was so desperate to go out and win the Danish Grand Prix.
I just said, take it.
Yeah, look at, oh, there's a little bit of conflict between the two crews.
I just said.
You stepped in front of me. Yeah, it was clear and she stepped across.
Yeah, well, quite clearly, there's some misunderstanding over an incident between Crump and a member of Pedersen's pit crew.
Don't be like that, mate. No, I just said, just take it easy, mate. Yeah, but you're always the mad one. I don't like you anyways. I don't care.
Well, Nicky Pedersen certainly not sitting on the fence with his views of that particular individual in the Crump pit crew, and back to the racing, Sam.
Yes, let's get on with it. There's a lot of energy in the pits, and there's points being scored back there too, but it's down to the business end. Look at Crumpy going from gate 4. Thomas Gollum gets gate 2. Iversen on the inside, and Hancock's left with gate 3.
So Gollum didn't get his favourite gate 4, and now it's a much calmer Nicky Pedersen.
Nicky Pedersen seems a lot of hard work for 10 points on the night.
Well, I'm absolutely got it, you know. Everything is working so good, you know. I feel it's good in condition, you know. I had 2 stitches in my bum tonight, you know. I was laying down in the pits and the doctor was there, and I messed a little bit up in one of the races, but I lifted, you know, and I got it down, but then Sayfutdinov ran straight into me, you know. I know it's my fault. I was lifting, but I just don't seem to have the luck. And then in the last one here, you know, it was working fantastic off the start. I had Jason, and already coming in the first turn, I had a puncture. You know, what's going on?
What's going on? The final of the Danish Grand Prix, the FIM Dansk Metal Danish Speedway GP. And what a night it's been. And the best is yet to come. Niels Christian Iversen, Thomas Gollop, Greg Hancock and Jason Crump, who, whatever happens, knows that he's extended his lead over Seifuganov at the top of the World Championship.
And he went straight for gate 4. He means business. There's Greg Hancock's manager. There's Thomas Gollop wishing he was on gate 4. Can he make gate 2 work?
The grand final, here we go! Green lights are on and the tape tries, and Jason Crump has got maximum drive away from the outside. Gollop's all over him, but Crump is just simply too quick. What a ride from Jason Crump. He has the lead. Thomas Gollop second, Greg Hancock third. Trailing at the back is Iversen, but 6 points here for Crump would mean that he'd take 22 points away from this meeting, and Hancock now charging up the inside of Gollop.
Gollop stood on that outside line, hoping he was going to get that extra drive to chase down Jason Crump. Greg Hancock works the inside as hard as he can. He nipped past Gollop. Gollop now back to the outside, thinking about where he's going to go, but look at Jason pulling away.
Brilliant ride from Crump then. Whatever happens in the build-up to the race, he knew that he had that cushion over Seifuganov, who's finished tonight on 14 points. So Crump is going to finish 8 points clear of his nearest World Championship rival. Jason Crump takes the checkered flag. 6 massive points for Crump. He wins the FIM Dansk Metal Danish Speedway Grand Prix. And that could be a pivotal moment in the World Championship race. 4 rounds gone, 7 to go. Crump heads for Cardiff in a commanding position in the World Championship Series. Here's the official result. Crump the race winner then. 6 massive points for him. Greg Hancock was second, 4 for him. Gollop was third, trailing at the back, but what a night for the wild card. Niels Christian Iversen.
Yeah, when the tapes went up, Crumpy knew exactly what he wanted to do. He went straight out. Gollop looked like he was halfway going to get there as they go into this corner. Look at Gollop, straight to the dirt, hope for that extra drive. And it's Crumpy there, celebrating with 6 more points to the total of his campaign.
Big result for Crump, he knows it, and Thomas Gollop is one of the first to offer his congratulations.
Thomas, you looked a little frustrated when gate 4 disappeared before your eyes.
Yeah, I think good morning, and gate 4 is the best tonight. And the lucky gate, it's lucky Crumpy in the win, congratulations. The very well done, good race. And the second guy, and Greg, very fast in the quick in the corner. I'm very happy third place tonight. It's last year in the win, today is 3. It's very, very fantastic for me.
Who said 39's too old?
I don't know. Who said that? You know, it's just it's one of them things, you know, racing, once you get on the bike, nobody cares how old you are, you know, and when you're winning, it feels great. So I'm young in the mind, as I said many a times, I'm young at heart, got a young wife, and a great crew around me, good sponsors, everybody, so thanks.
Jason Crump, another win, a great achievement, 22 points in the lead in the World Championships building.
Mate, that's awesome. It was a great night. The track was a credit to Ollie Olsen and his staff. The atmosphere in the stadium was fantastic. The supporters were great. So thanks to all the fans, thanks to the FIM and IMG for making us a great circuit to race on, and what a show.
Yeah, terrific show. Many congratulations to Jason Crump, and look at his lead now, 14 points clear of Seifuganov. Jonsson on 46, Hancock 45. That's the top 8. And there's some notable riders outside of the top 8 at the moment as well. Some riders who perhaps you would have expected to have been right up there challenging. Lee Adams, a notable rider in 9th. Hans Andersen in 13th as well. And Scott Nichols at the bottom. Jason Crump takes the lead to the home of Speedway, the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff for round 5 of the World Speedway Championship. Join us for that.